Yeah, good morning and welcome to Daf Yomi, Maseches Yevamos, Daf Aleph, number 11. Um, I just talked to my friend David. Some of you may know of him. He's a guy who dances a lot with me in my shiurim. He complimented my new coat. He likes my coat. He was shocked that it was only $100 on Amazon. Um, he is leaving in Av. He's going, I think, to Bnei Brak. He's a nice guy, a friend of mine. He refused to come on the shiur today. He learned the eight Masechtas. He's learning in the middle of eight Masechtas. He's learning. He wanted to be a chavrusa of mine for Yevamos. I said, listen, how long do you think it takes me to prepare the shiur? I wonder if viewers wonder how long it takes me to prepare the shiur and how long it takes me to prepare Enoch Ben Sion, which is Lamdas on the Daf. I, I'm not even going to tell you. I'm going to give you the opportunity to put in the comments. Give me your guesses. How long you think two questions. How long you think me it takes? How long you think it takes me to prepare the Daf Yomi? And secondly, how long you think it takes me to prepare Ben Sion? I wonder what people think, and I'm going to tell you the answer maybe on Motzei Shabbos or Sunday. Anyway, let's get started today. Daf It Aleph. Yevamos, everyone's talking to me. All the people in the base medrash over here and the other kollels are talking. Even the Gabbayim are talking to me about Yevamos. How is it like to give a shiur in Yevamos? It must take hours to explain the cases. I said, no. You don't go into all the cases and all the details. You just tell the general rules over here. Otherwise, you'd be giving a shiur for hours. So we don't give a shiur for hours. I do. It's funny actually. During Yevamos, my shiurim are shorter than other masechtas because there's less words on the page. There's more words than Rashi. I don't read Rashi. I don't read the Gemara. Okay, that's partially why it doesn't take me so long to prepare the daf. Some shiurim take. I've heard some Daf Yomi Magidei shiur. They say it takes them 14 or 15 hours to prepare the daf. I feel bad for those people. They have no life otherwise, All right, let's go on. All right, so where it says. The top line of Yud Aleph and Aleph. Rav Ashi Savar Reish Lakish. Again, we had Machlokes Reish Lakish and Rabbi Yochanan yesterday, right? Someone who there's numerous brothers available to Chalitza or Yibam. One of them is Chalitza, and it invokes the pasuk Asher Lo Yivne Beis Echav, and the Gemara Darshans Keva Shabana Shuv Lo Yivne, and then he's Chalitza and Mekadosh are afterwards. So now we explained what the significance of Kedushin was, why he has to Mekadosh and Enoch Ben Sion yesterday. Whatever it is, according to Reish Lakish, that person who did the Chalitza and the Kedushin, he is usher to consummate his marriage with her because of a lav, only a lav. And she, or an essay actually, I don't know if it's a lav, it's not directly in the Torah, came on Shabbat Shuv, it's an inference from a pasuk. And according to Reish Lakish, him with any of the other, with a Sarah, or any other brothers with this wife, would be kares. According to Reish Lakish, Rabbi Yochanan says everyone shlichusa, he does shlichus da'achin, and the wife, the woman who does yibum, the yivama, does shlichus the tzaros, and therefore everyone's an essay. So now we had a brisa which was difficult. So we're going to try to answer it both according to Reish Lakish, both according to Rabbi Yochanan. Rashi held like Reish Lakish in halacha. Mataris like Rabbi Shimon. He explained the brisa al libo to Rabbi Shimon. We'll see in a second what Rabbi Shimon we're talking about. Ravina Sarah like Rabbi Yochanan. Ravina held in Psak halacha like Rabbi Yochanan. There's only an essay for everybody. Mataris Rabbanan. He explained not like Rabbi Shimon, the Rabbanan who argue on Rabbi Shimon. Rashi Sarah like Reish Lakish. Mataris like Rabbi Shimon. Achotz yivnu chazer kitchas shilichos of an achin mana achin hayeludim. Come on, Rabbi Shimon. Right, we know there's a machlokes in Shimon and Rabbanan. Like we said yesterday, we explained in Enoch Ben Sion yesterday, there's Eishesach Makom Mitzvah, Eishesach Shalom Makom Mitzvah. One of the cases of Eishesach Shalom Makom Mitzvah is where the pasuk says, Echo Shaya Ba'olam. It has to be that your brother was married to his wife and he died. You have to have been living while he was married to his brother. If he died before you were born and then you were born, a new brother was born, I guess you'd be like 20 years younger than your brother. So that's Echisach of Shalaya Ba'olamo. It's considered Echisach Shalom Makom Mitzvah. It's regular content of kares. Rabbi Shimon argues on the Rabbanan. Where does he argue in the case? Everyone agrees he argues in one case where there's three brothers, right? So he's Echisach Shalaya Ba'olamo. And then, but there was a second brother who was alive. So he was able to do Yibam. Shimon. There's Reuven. Reuven died. Shimon was alive, so Shimon did Yibum, Reuven's wife. And then after Reuven died, Levi was born. So Levi was in the world with Shimon, now with Reuven. So then Shimon died. Levi can do Yibum with the original wife of Reuven and the previous wife of Shimon because it's not considered Ishak Shalei Balamo. He holds like Rabbi Shimon. So how would you read the first line of the Brisa? Right? This brother went ahead, he did chalitza, and then he did something wrong. He was makadisher. Srika chalitza min ha'achen. She needs chalitza min ha'achen. Man achen hayeludim. The brothers that are born after, is according to Rabbi Shimon, that's not considered Ishak Shalaya Balamo, because they were born after the second brother died. It's not considered Ishak Shalaya Balamo. So therefore, Rabbi Shimon would say that it is an essay because they are born after. So that had the brisa finishes. Amayacham and Achan and Oldim. The second part of the brisa is talking about brothers that were already born. V'kidsha ein la alav klum. Those brothers that were alive when the original Reuven died, so therefore ein la alav klum. Therefore, there's no chalitza or yibum because there is a tour of kares. She's considered kares. It's called eis zakshal of makom mitzvah according to Reb Shimon, these people were in the same world. According, once they do chalitzas, therefore it's Eishak Shalom Malchum Mitzvah. Because we said the whole idea, according to Reish Lakish, is because he's Makadish, therefore it becomes Eishak Shalom Malchum Mitzvah. It becomes the new Eishak Shalom Malchum Mitzvah. It's called Zervaneir, Eishak Shalom Malchum Mitzvah. Rabbi Yochanan, Ravina Sarlak, Rabbi Yochanan, Ravina Pasna, Rabbi Yochanan. Tarish Lach Liba the Rabbanan, he interpreted the Brisa according to the Rabbanan who argue on Rabbi Shimon. The Reisha, the Brisa, again, in this case, he's chalitza v'imdo, and then he was makadish. Chalitza min ha'achen, she needs chalitza min ha'achen, man ha'achen. And this made sense according to Rabbi Yochanan, man ha'achen, achen and oldim. Kiman ka Rabbi Yochanan, this is talking about the achim that were already in the world. Rabbi Yochanan, like Rabbi Yochanan says, that one, he does shlichus at the achin, and the Yevamos does shlichus at saros, and therefore, everyone is kai be'eseh, so therefore you need chalitza, because there's no kares to pater from chalitza and yibum. Amma the Seifa the Brisa Amarecha Min Yaludim V'Kid She'en Klum Kaman Karabanan. The Seifa will be talking about a case where the brothers that were going to do Chalitza and Yibam were Yaludim. They were born after the deceased brother died. So therefore it's Eishach Shalaya Balamo, and therefore even Rabbi Yochanan Rabbi Moda, according to the Rabbanan, who hold, even in this case where there was an interlude where one of the brothers married her, and then the other brothers were born, while the second brother was married to her. That case is where Shimon and the Rabbanan argue. So the Rabbanan would hold in that case it's still considered Eishes Akshalaya Balama. Even Rabbi Yochanan Moda that it was Makom Kares because Eishes Akshalaya Makom Mitzvah. Okay, Itmar, a new case. Abal Yevamos ba echem and achem al tzarasa. Okay, someone's boal the Yevamos. Now, when you're boal the Yevamos, you do Yevamos Chalitza. There's only one opportunity, right? You have numerous brothers and you have numerous saros. So there's only one opportunity. The Yavam could do Yibam. Once he does Yibam on one of the wives, so then he paters all his brothers. She's free from all the brothers, and all the saros are free. So if he goes ahead and he's Baal Yevamos, and then another brother comes and it's Baal Saras on the Sarah, she's already pater. So we have the same Achlokish, Yochanan Reish Lakish. Pligi bar Rav Achav Ravina, Chad Amar B'Kares, V'Chad Amar B'Esei. One says that the second brother is Chayav Kares, so the other one says Chayav an Esei. Kevin Shalabana Shul B'Liyivne, Manda Amar B'Kares, Reish Lakish, like Reish Lakish says, Manda Amar B'Esei, Ki Rabbi Yochanan. When it says Esei, is like Rabbi Yochanan, because according to Rabbi Yochanan, Kema Shalabana Shuv Lo Yivne. Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Rav Sarah Sota, a new case. This will be the subject of Iyun Ben Sion today. We're going to be talking about Sarah Sota, how the Lamdas works. So this line, the Gemara Sota Asura, she's Asur. And the Gemara really interprets that there's no Yibum and no Chalitza by a Sarah Sota, meaning a Sota is a woman who's there's Adam that came and says she was Nitma, she was Boal, she cheated on her husband, she's an adulteress. This is Soda's Vada we're going to see. The Adam, she has yet to, she's Asura Labala, Asura Laboa, she's Asura to her husband. She's asura to the woman, to the man she committed the adultery with. But also, the Gemara teaches over here that her Sarah, right? Let's say she was married to a man. She became convicted as a sota. She became accused as a sota, and it was proved that she was a sota. And then the husband died, and they didn't have any children. So, and he had other wives also. The Sarah is pater l'chalitza with Yibam. Just like you can't do Yibam chalitza with a sota because tuma ksiba. Sarah sota also tuma ksiba karayas. Tuma is written by a sota like arayas, comparing it to arayas. Because it says the word tuma by a sota, and in the parsha of Arayas it talks about tuma. It says the word tuma by in the parsha of Arayas, so it's sort of a mematzino. Masiv Rav Chisda. Rav Chisda asked the question: Rishon Omer biasa kilatzasa me'achav sharishon poter sarasa. This is a case in Yevamos, at the end of Yevamos, which talks about what happens if a husband goes away. He goes to Medina Siyam. He goes on vacation. He goes Barbados. I don't know where he went. And a witness comes and tells the wife, your husband died. Now, normally you need two eidim, but in this case, the Rabbanan allowed because they wanted the ma'agi and the wife that she shouldn't have a husband. They believed one aid. The aid comes, even Isha can be an aid, and say that the husband died. She's allowed to remarry based on that. A woman can only get remarried. She can't be married to two men at the same time, so you need the husband to die in order to remarry. We believe the man. Let's say she gets the aidus, she remarries, and then the husband walks home. He comes home the next day. So obviously the aid was lying or didn't know all the information. So therefore she's considered to be a sota, an adulteress, because she lived with a second husband while her husband was still alive, and that's a problem. That is Nisr D'Rabbanan. Now, let's say the husband then died, and then without children. So the Gemara says at the end of Yevamos, if there's chalitza done, one of the brothers of this original husband original husband who died does bia, he does yibam or chalitza. It patches the Sarah. So why do you need to patch the Sarah over here? If she's a sota, right, she's considered an adulteress, to the fact that her children from the second husband are considered mamzerim, they're abanon. It's not doraisa, it's only the rabbanon, because she should have checked more. So you see that you need chalitza. I'm on the charav. I don't sota doraisa. I said sota doraisa. That's what I was talking about. Tumak sivba. Adamartili sota the rabbanon. It's only the rabbanon. Doraisa, she's believed that she can remarry based on the edus of an edechad. So therefore, there you need chalitza or yibam to part of the sarah. Whereas the karila my karila, what's a hava mean to compare the two? So the Gemara says kasav called tikun rabbanon came doraisa. Tikun, he the one who asked the question, held that anything that rabbanon established, they established by this one by eid echad neman for edus isha. Also, they were established like a din doraisa. Really, the maskana is not exactly the same. Mesa Ravashi Nixam all the Seisa. Rashi asks another question. She goes, let's say she goes privately. They go to a private hotel room. Mashasi Mokadei Tuma, and there's Adam there. They come, the Adam and the marriage. They ate Ksuva. They need to and they go and they follow the adulteress to her hotel room. And they lock the door behind her, and everyone sings. No, Chas v'Shalom, not to sing about this. I'm joking. Just a mashal for people that could relate to it. What happens at a wedding? They come. They were in the hotel room. The amount of time it takes to be together. The Gemara and Sota discusses how long it takes. Asur lebeisav, asur lechel b'truma. She cannot marry. She has to divorce her husband. She can't be married to her husband. Asur lechel b'truma. She can't eat truma anymore. She's considered to be, if she was married to a Kohen, which allows you to eat truma, she's now considered not married to the Kohen in certain respects. She can't eat truma anymore. If the husband dies, now this is a sota suffix, right? We're not sure that she committed it. Adam saw there, Adam that went in, that saw that she went to Seiser, and she was there the amount of time that it took to be nitma, and she was warned before this. The Gemara says in sota, but we're not sure that they were together. We're not sure she's an adulteress. She's a sota suffix. The imeis choletzes below. If the husband dies, she has to do chalitza and can't do yibam. So I'm like Rav, Amina lechana sotavada. I'm at least at sofa sota suffix. You can't compare the cases. Again, that's a sota suffix. We're talking about sota vadai. Ma'ishna sota vadai. Why should it be different? Between the ksivba tuma. Sota suffix nami tuma ksivba. You're telling me that there should be a difference between them. A sota suffix. Also, it says tuma. The sad. How do you know that? Yosef ben Kefar Omer. And this is a different pasuk, a different case, right? If you divorce your wife, right, and then she gets remarried, right? Asura min ha'iris in mutaresh. Yosef ben Kefar holds, if halach is she gets married to another man, you can't. The original husband can't be machzir grusha, so he can't remarry to his wife. That's an issur in the Torah. You can't be machzir grusha. So after she got remarried, what about she just got engaged? She got erisin. So min ha'iris in mutaresh, according to Yosef ben Kefar, she has to be tameh. She has to be defiled. She has to live with the second husband. Chum say even in Erisin Shasura. Why is it supposed to say Arachrei Hutama? She wasn't too much. She's just engaged. When you get engaged, you're normally not together. L'Rabo Sota Shnistera. Therefore, the pasuk is talking about something. Achrei Hutama is coming to include a case which is not related to this. It's talking about a Sota Shnistera, an adulteress, nothing to do with a Machzir Grushasa. My nistra. I want to say my nistra. Nivola. What does nistra mean? Nivola means that she actually was nivola. My karila nistra. Why is it called her nistra? Lishna ma'alya nakat. The reason it calls nistra is because it's a nice way of saying that she was nivelis. It's better to talk in vague terms when it comes to actual sexual intercourse. So the Gemara says nivola tuma behedya ksibba. Nivola. It already says tuma. V'nistra v'hinitma. This is the pasuk by Sota. V'nistra v'hinitma. It says tuma. So the Gemara says l'meika ala b'lav. That only is an essay. V'nistra v'hinitma tells you the din of Sota applies. She went into a hotel room, and there's Adam that actually saw. They're in the hotel room with had cameras. Whether cameras is either, so I'm not going to get into or not. But we have concrete proof that she actually was together with this man. She committed adultery. That's only an essay. It doesn't say she's usher. It says v'hinitma, and then dinah so to apply. So it's an essay. We infer from the pasuk that's an isser essay. L'meik ma labalaf. This pasuk, according to the Rabban, which is extra by Machzir Grusha, is coming to tell you, sota vadai is chayiv in a lav also. She gets malchus for that if she's together with a husband. Rabbi Yosef ben Kefar lav b'sosa leislei. Rabbi Yosef ben Kefar, he learns the pasuk is not talking about. It's only talking about minan and suin. That's why he said acharei shehutama, because it's talking only machzir grusha. So it's going to qualify machzir grusha. So it has to be a case where she is hutama, where she's nitma, where she was married to the second man. If she was married erisin, where she wasn't nitma, she wasn't defiled. Therefore, she's mutera. It's something to do with the sota. So he lab b'sota leislei. Filu is nine nami. And even if we know for sure she was nitma, my time havaya v'ishas ksiv. The pasuk is talking about. Pasuk of Machzir Grusha was talking about Havaya v'isha. It's talking about, it uses the word Havaya when it says V'haisa. It means there's a marriage. V'isha, so Isha is a marriage also. So therefore, the pasuk has to be talking about Nisuin. It can't be talking about Erisin, like the Rabbanan. So there's no reason to include a sota, to darshan a sota from this pasuk. So now the Gemara says fine. So the Gemara says Boi minei Rabbi Yehuda Rav Shesha Machzir Grusha mishenise so meis. What would be the halacha if you're Machzir Grusha so? After marriage, and then you died, right? Now you're not allowed to do this, according to both Rabbi Yosef ben Kefar and the Rabbanan. That's explicit pasuk. So Rasa Ma, what are we doing the Sarah? Ali but Rabbi Yosef ben Kefar, Lati Ba'ala, came on the Amar, Rabbi Yosef ben Kefar, Tuma, B'Machzir Grusha, Sahu, the Ksiva, Sarasa Kamosa. He says the pasuk is talking about Minan Suin. It calls it Tuma over there, so it's called she's defiled, Minan Suin, and Machzir Grusha. So the Sarah is like her, just like Tuma is written by the woman who is a grusha. So the tzara also, who's married to another woman also, so she's also v'imishum the ksiv ba toeva he toeva banat toevin. The pasuk says toeva he. It sounds like only she, the woman who was divorced, is a toeva. It sounds like he. It's a miyut. He only he toeva banat toeva. We'd interpret it. She's a toeva, but the children from the reunion of the original husband and the grusha, they don't produce children which are usher to the kahuna. Hasarasa toeva, but we would say that sarasa would be a toeva. So it would be tuma, and we'll explain. The Yevamos will explain why tuma is treated like kares. The question is only rises according to the Rabbanan. Avkav them Rabbanan tuma besota who dichsev tuma by master gushasa. It's not referring to master gushasa. It's referring to a sota in mikra yotzim in the pshuta. But still, we'd say the pasuk, the pasuk pshat in the pasuk is talking about master gushasa. So therefore, tuma is really the drasha. It applies by a sota, but the pshat of the pasuk is telling me that tuma is also by master gushasa called tame. Oh, Dilma came with the Akir. Maybe we say since the Joshua tells me it refers to a sota, so therefore the word tuma only is shayach to a sota, not shayach to machzir gusha. So ikad amri al libad rabbanon to bayalach. So some say to answer the question, according to the rabbanon, there's no question. Came with these Akir, because we could say definitively that once the pasuk is darshan for a sota, it's no longer related to a machzir gusha. So bayalach libad Rabbi Yosef and Kefar mai. What would be the halacha for Yosef ben Kefar? Avagav Damar Yosef ben Kefar Tuma Machzir Gushasa the Ksiva. It's talking about Machzir Gushasa. Miyat Rachmana He Toeva and Sarasa Toeva, but it says Miyat He Toeva. Only she, a woman, the Machzir Grusha is Toeva. Ein Sarasa Toeva, the rival wife that she's originally married to this guy with, and the rival wife wasn't divorced and married an Omeh. And she's not a Toeva. Dilma He Toeva and Banat Toeva. Maybe we'd say no. He just comes to exclude the children from being abominable, and they are mutter to the kahuna. Hasrasa toeva, the sarasa would be toeva. Amrle, he said back to Manisua. We have an answer to the question. We have a Mishnah later on in Mem Dalet. A man has two women to do chalitza and yibam. His brother was married to two women. One's kshera, one's psula. We're going to learn kshera and psula or kshera the kahuna or not. If he wants to do chalitza, he does chalitza to the apostle one. If he wants to give him, he does kshera, the one who kshera. Look at my kshera, my psula. What does kshera and psula mean? Either kshera la'alma, psula la'alma. Kshera means that she's considered mutter to all the kahuna. Psula means it's possible to all the kahuna. She's a grusha, let's say. A grusha is possible to kahuna. Since to him, he's not a kohen. We're not talking about a kohen. He's not a kohen. So for him, what does it matter whether he does chalitza to the kshera or the psula, or the yibam to the kshera or the psula? For him, they're both kosher. Elalav kshera lei, psula lei. Must be talking about, we're talking about a non-kohen, and she's kosher and apostle. We're talking about an erva or something like that. What is the erva that we're talking about? Because if you do chalitza or yibam, it can't be talking about a kares. It's talking about a lav. Must be talking about machzir gushasa. It says if he does yibum, he does yibum to the kosher one. So you see there is yibum shayach over here. He does yibum to the kosher one, not to the master gushaso. Who's the ksher one? The sarah. The sarah is the ksher one. So he does yibum to the sarah. So you see the sarah is not ptura. What is lo olam ksher la'alma? What are we talking about? He's not a kohen, but these wives are grushas. It's talking about grusha the kahuna psula la'alma. The kamar came in the lidi chazim. Why does the Mishnah state he should miyabim with the kshera and not the psula, and not be cholis the kshera? Mishum the Rav Yosef. Rav Yosef kan shana Rebbe leishbach adam me boru v'acherim stricha lahem. You shouldn't, if you have water in your pit, you have water in your well, and other people need it. Even though you don't need it, you're a rich guy, you don't need it. You shouldn't pour it out. You should save it for people who need it. So therefore, even though he's not a kohen, it doesn't make a difference to him whether he does chalitza to the kshera, which is not a grusha, or the psula, who is a grusha. It's better to do it to the grusha because she's already psula the kahuna. You're not ruining it for the kahuna. If you do chalitza to the kshera, so we're going to learn later on that chalitza midrabanan is treated like a grusha for a kohen. A kohen, just like he can't marry a grusha, he also can't marry a chalitza midrabanan. So therefore, to save other kohanim, that's what he should do. But it's not a raya to a master grusha. We're not talking about that case. It's not his grusha. Tashma master grusha mishanises. Another proof. He's master grusha mishanisa once she gets remarried. He was harasa choletzes. So the Gemara says her and her sarah do chalitza. He was harasa zakadaita. They don't, both of them. You don't need to do chalitza to two women. Only one chalitza is done, and the rest of it is ptura. Elaim he sarasa. So it must be, we have to reinterpret this brayso. You either do chalitza or to her or to the sarah. So you see what? You see that there is shayach chalitza by a machzir grushaso. So when I said we'll have through tzikmadar taritzach he chalitza sarasa chalitza oh misyabemes. Once we're reinterpreting the brayso, we can say that for her, you do chalitza. And the sarasa chalitza memes, you could either do the sarah, you could either do yivom too. You can even do yivom. It's not considered tuma ksiva karayos. Even in the Havamina, the Gemara assumed it wasn't a tur lagamre. That was maybe only in Rav Yosef and Kefar. Because you see, even osarasa ohi, so if it's considered tuma, so why is it that you do either to one of them and it patters the other one? Why are you doing chalitza to any of them? They're both tuma. They're both tuma ksiva. It's a question. All right, we're going to stop here. That'll be the end of today's shir. Daf It Aleph. Stay tuned for Yud Ben Sion coming up right now.